Welcome, everyone. I really appreciate you guys taking the time out to be here today. This is our first time here. After we met Lydia, she invited us over, and I came here. I did a tour of the facility, and I thought it was really nice. It was very welcoming, and I said I would definitely want to bring a speaker here, and I didn't know that we'd be able to get one so soon. So we are very blessed to have you guys here. Like Lydia said, I am part of our interfaith committee. We are trying to build bridges with our community until we can all understand each other and work together. So inshallah, so I hope that we can go ahead and do that. I'm going to introduce Brother Issam Ziam. Some of you might know him. He's part of CARE, and he does a lot of the Tea Time for Peace sessions. I'm not sure if you guys have ever heard about them, but I want to bring him on, and he is going to introduce our speaker today. Thank you.
Thank you, Sabeel. Assalamu alaikum. This is a Muslim greetings. Peace be upon all of you. I want to welcome you to the World's Religion presentation. My name is Issam Zain. I'm a long-time resident of Westlake, and I'm also a member of WCMA. I'm honored to welcome all of you and welcome our speaker today, Brother Dr. Sabeel Ahmed is an executive director of Gain Peace, an outreach project by ICNA, which is the Islamic Center of North America. ICNA is a non-profit organization whose main goal is to educate the general public about Islam and to clarify many misconceptions that people may have. Dr. Sabeel Ahmed also serves on the board of ICNA and is leading their national task force to tackle Islamophobia. His aim is to highlight the commonality and build bridges between people of various faith, race, and nationality. And he would love to share his beautiful faith, Islam, with our fellow Americans. Dr. Ahmed has given many outreach presentations and workshops in various cities in the United States of America, and on the topic of Sharia, so Islamic law, freedom of speech, comparative religion, and youth empowerment. After completing his medical education from the Caribbean, he decided to dedicate his life as a full-time educator of Islam to tackle Islamophobia and to convey the peaceful message of Islam. Dr. Ahmed has been featured in various national media outlets. He was born in India and moved to the United States more than 20 years ago. He's married and has 3 children, and he resides with his family in Morton Grove, Illinois. I would like to thank the Westlake Community Service Center for partnering with WCMA in bringing this program. And I would like to let you know that please feel free after the presentation to ask any question. And I mean any question you have. There are a lot of misconceptions about our faith, and this is the opportunity for you to clarify things for yourself. Hear it from the horse's mouth, sorry. And please, if you have interest in visiting our mosque, get in touch with me or anybody from here on the board. We would love to have you in our masjid or our mosque. It's open and welcoming to anyone. Thank you so much for being here today.
Thank you. He's gonna send me his video.
Okay, Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. I start in the name of God, the most beneficent and the most merciful, and welcome and greet all of you with the Islamic greeting of Assalamu alaikum. That means may peace of God be upon each single one of you. This was the greeting that Muslims we greet each other when we meet each other. And those from the Christian faith, you'll be surprised to find out that this was exactly the same greeting that Jesus, who we consider as a prophet, he used to greet his people with. In the Gospel of John, chapter number 20, verse number 19, it says that when Jesus, when he went to the upper chamber to meet his disciples, the very first thing he mentioned to them is, peace be upon you. So I'm here from Chicago. I flew in here from Chicago like literally 2 hours ago. Went to the hotel, took a rented car, went to the hotel, went to the mosque to do the Friday prayer, and then right away came over here. Right? And I was thinking that I would be escaping the Chicago brutal winter and the heavy snow, and I was wrong. Right? Actually, you have more snow here than in Chicago. Yes, surprise, right? We only had maybe 3 inches of snow the whole winter season. But when I was flying, as the plane was landing, I saw like maybe this much snow up there. Good luck. And I know you love snow. No, you don't. All right, wonderful. I was born and raised in India. When I was growing up, I used to see many Hollywood movies. And my only impression of America and Americans is that every single one of you look like him. Right? That you act like him, you carry weapons like him, and you shoot each other out like him. That was my only impression about you. But after I came here, met my fellow Americans, the peaceful Americans, the wonderful, amazing American fellow Americans, I realized that people all over the world, they are about the same. They're concerned for their families, for the future, for their safety. Yes, there are bad apples in the followers in every culture, but there are many good apples. So I'm really glad, I'm really pleased that this center and the Muslim Community Center, we are doing this joint program. And I honestly believe, just like I had fear of the unknown of America and these wonderful people here, some of you may have fear of the unknown about Islam and Muslims, and that is understood, really understood, by the way. Because if you don't know about each other, there is always many gaps, many fears, and sometimes these fears, they may give rise to bias and hate and sometimes violence. But when we come over here, when we meet each other, when we learn from each other, we realize that there are so many things which are in common. And based on the commonality, I hope and pray that we can build bridges, we can work together, and we can make better communities. And may God help us all. That's the prayer and that's the wish for all of us. All right, so let's quickly, I will try to make this interactive, right? So no one sleeps. You may have had a big lunch, a good lunch, delicious lunch. So just to make sure that all of us are awake, these choices. All right, you have A, B, C, D, and E. By the raise of hands, what choice would you make without Googling the answer? All right? Nobody Googles now. Take away your phones. C. Raise of hands, C. C. Who said C? Oh, okay. And is that your final answer?
That's my guess.
That's your guess, right? Now we are left with 4. All right, 4 more. And one of the 4 is the right answer. Okay, who wants to take one more guess?
Is it fair for me to answer?
Yeah, come on, you may know the answer. Yes, sister, go ahead. A? D. We are left with 3. Who said D? We are left with 2. All right, now you have 50-50 to answer. And go for it.
E.
That's the right answer. Yeah, that's the answer I was looking for. So according to the New York Times, Muslim presence in the USA goes way back close to 500 years. Not 30 years, not even the 1800s, not even the 1700s. According to the New York Times article, the very first presence of the Muslims over here from Africa was in the year 1529. Almost 500 years, right? So because, there's a perception out there that Muslims are foreigners, we don't belong here, right? We are not Americans. So we just want to let our people know, all of us know, that Muslims are living here, thriving over here, as part of American landscape for literally 500 plus years. And that's the article from this important link that you can go and find out more. So Muslims in America, we have fought in many wars, actually all the wars that the US fought for the independence. and for the protection and for the safety of America. So going back, the very first war, the War of 1776, for the independence of the USA, there were many, many Muslims who were part of the army of Washington, George Washington. There was a stamp that was taken out in 1975 just to recognize the contributions of the Muslims in the US armed forces. Which country's flag that you think this is from? Anyone? Let's check your knowledge of the world, the world geography, right? Let's check your knowledge. Are you smarter than a 5th grader quiz? Okay, anyone go for it? Anyone?
My neighbor here is saying Pakistan, maybe?
Pakistan. No, not really. Is it from Pakistan? It's not from Pakistan. Pakistan's flag is, it has a star in there, it has a crescent in there, but the color is different.
India.
India? No, not India actually. Not India. Okay, just a hint, it's from Africa. Which country in Africa? It starts with the letter M. Morocco, you got it. Yes, Morocco. And the reason I'm throwing in the flag of Morocco and the name of and the name of this country in there is because when the US won independence, the very first country to recognize the independence of the USA and to support the baby USA was none other than the Muslim country of Morocco. Not France, not Germany, not UK, obviously, right? But it was a Muslim country. So the bonding of the Muslim community with the United States of America goes many, many centuries. And this is a really amazing way that you can realize, yes, Muslims were the very first people. The very first like open house, like a discussion like this, it happened in the year 1809. By President Jefferson, he invited some Muslims in the White House, and they had like a White House open house with the Muslims in there, right? And there are many, many Muslims who took part in the Civil War on the side of obviously Lincoln and all the wars that we have fought, and they sacrificed with their lives as Americans. So that's really important to do away with the misconception and the myths that people have that Muslims are new, we don't know. We are part of the USA. Many, many generations going back, literally 500 years. So what are some of the contributions of Muslims in the USA? Who can recognize that building that you see on the slide here? Yeah, it's a Sears Tower in Chicago. Well, right now it's called as the Willis Tower. At one time, this was the tallest building in the whole world, right? 1973 when it was built. Now there are other taller buildings, but the main structural engineer of this Sears Tower was none other than a Muslim immigrant, Dr. Fazlur Rahman. He's called as the Einstein of structural engineering. So the landscape or the skyline of Chicago and Houston and many, many cities would not be the way it is if not for the contributions of this Muslim engineer. Almost all the skyscrapers in the whole world, I'm saying, not just in Chicago, not only in the US, they all utilize the structural tubular engineering that he perfected. So that's one of the contributions, right? Many of us, we watch YouTube. One of the founders of YouTube was none other than a Muslim by the name of Javed Karim. Okay, iPhone was not invented by Muslims. But Steve Jobs, his father was a Muslim from Syria. How many of you knew that, right? Do you like ice cream cones? Anyone? Yeah? So ice cream cones, so this is how the story goes. So in the 1906 convention, I believe, in St. Louis, so what happened was there was a stall of the ice cream seller, and then there was a Arab Muslim who was selling some bread, and it so happened the ice cream was so popular that the cups were run out. And there was, how can he sell ice cream without the cups? So the Muslim who was next to him, who was making bread, he told them, okay, why don't you take my bread and make it into the form of a cone and put the ice cream on it, and lo and behold, ice cream cone was invented, right? So if you eat an ice cream cone next time, thank the Muslims. All right, why not? And many, many more contributions like that. So these are faces of some of the prominent Muslims of the past and currently in the USA. As you can see there, right? Javed Karim is the founder of U2. Then you have Malcolm X, obviously we all know him. You know, Muhammad Ali and Nobel Prize winners. There are no less than 35,000 Muslim physicians in the USA. When I went to the local mosque for the Friday prayer, almost every second person, they were introducing themselves. You know, I'm Dr. Ahmed, I'm Dr. Abdullah, I'm Dr. So-and-so. So there are 35,000 plus Muslim physicians in the USA. You know, when the earthquake happened in Haiti, 15,000 patients were treated by the Muslim physicians going from here to there, because this is part of our faith, to help out this wonderful humanity and the rest of the Muslims, as you see over here. So this is really important to do the perception, to take away the perceptions that Muslims are new. You know, Muslims are part of the USA as Muslims, as humans, and definitely as Americans. Alright, so a Muslim, so Islam is not a monolithic faith. There are close to 2 billion Muslims around the world. And Islam is the second largest faith in the whole world. Right after Christianity, that has about 2.2 billion followers, Islam is the next biggest faith. And it is also the fastest growing faith. So what they have predicted, that by the year 2050, Islam is going to become the largest faith in the whole world. I'm not sure about Cleveland, but in Chicago, there are close to 500,000 actually, Muslims. 130 mosques up there. So not sure about Cleveland.
We're not as big.
Not as big, okay. Maybe 10,000, 20,000, right? And growing.
Probably in Ohio, we have about 200, 250,000 altogether.
Okay, yeah, that's a pretty big number, 250,000, right? Quarter million. So there is also a misconception that Muslims are Arabs and vice versa. Okay, I'm a Muslim, I'm not an Arab. You are an Arab, you are an Arab, right? But when you look at the 2 billion Muslims around the world, only 19% of them are from the Arab background. So here is a second quiz to all of you. Which country do you think, so this is not for the Muslims, okay, the quiz. So of all the countries in the world, 200 plus countries, which country do you think is the most populous Muslim country in the whole world? Yes, brother?
Indonesia.
Indonesia, you got it right away, right? Even before I finished the question, he said, I know the answer. Indonesia, yes. How about the second most populous? India, then Pakistan. So there are more Muslims in the Far East than in the Middle East. Important. So according to the latest Pew survey, there are no less than 3.5 million Muslims in the USA, right? But this is just, I believe, this is just an understatement. This is undercount. There are many, many more Muslims. According to some of the data, there are close to 7 million plus Muslims. And according to some statistics, Islam is the second largest